I've been seeing all of the conversations about Byron Perkins, the black gay football player who is in a relationship with a white man, and I want to talk about it. Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on. When I tell y'all, I cannot wait to put this project together because I want to be able to sit down with other black queer folks and have these conversations, because I've been seeing some good stuff on Twitter and I've also been seeing some very nasty things. When I tell you, it's a lot. So I want to discuss and have a conversation about my thoughts. Not sure if this video is gonna get a lot of views because a lot of folks who watch me, probably don't know what's going on. So there's this black gay football player by the name of Byron Perkins. He plays for Hampton University, and he's out. Like we don't see that too much. And he posted a picture recently of his white boyfriend for Pride Month, and it's caused a whole stir on Twitter. It's one of it was the catalyst for me leaving Twitter, like deactivating. I said, girl, this is too much. And then mixed with the Chica conversation, I was like, girl, it's enough. I just can't do it. So a lot of people have called into question something that I've talked about a lot, the black gay celebrities who are always just so happen to be in relationships with white men. Like we see that a lot. Like we see black gay men in Hollywood or celebrities, and they never have a black partner. It's always a non-black partner or a white man. Like it's either or. Like we want to talk about interracial dating and interracial whatever, but it's never any other race besides a white man. Usually, like I don't know the percentage, but it is very high. And we know there's been studies and conversations and stuff about, white men are always chosen. White gay men, when it comes to it, white gay men are chosen before a lot of other folks. That's just what it is. That's what it's giving. And I've seen this for a while. This conversation I've had, honestly, when I was working on the YouTube Originals project, and we were doing the conversation about HIV, I wanted to have a black queer person on the panel who also had a black partner. And when YouTube gave me the list, it was every one of them had white partners. Like all of them had white partners. And I just did not want to do that. I want to uplift a black gay person who just so happens to be in a relationship with a black gay man, because it's something that we don't see a lot. It's something that we don't see a lot. And there's conversations about how Hollywood moves and how black gay men, in order for them to assimilate and be able to move in Hollywood, to tone down their blackness, they do have to have a white partner. Now we can talk about, hey, I live in the middle of nowhere and all I have is this and da-da-da. Yes, we can let you have that. Definitely understand that if you are in places where there is not a lot of black folks, da-da-da. But honestly, if you've been in other areas and other parts of the world where there have been black folks, and each of your last 3 or 5 partners have been white, there's something about you, sister. So yes, I'm not really surprised that Byron Perkins has a white boyfriend. It's not surprising to me at all. But the response to the white gay man was quite interesting, because you had a lot of folks saying that black gay men will choose a undesirable white gay man before they choose a black man. And I get it. It's true, because he is, he's white, but he's fat. He's fat, and as long as you're white, you're right. The closer proximity to whiteness, like he is white. There's no other proximity to that. I mean, he could quote unquote be thin and be the ultimate whiteness, but he is fat and white. But what is also interesting, and my takeaway from all the responses and people discussing this whole thing, is that a lot of these folks who are interested in this conversation, I'm not saying everybody, but I'm starting to see a pattern with folks who use conversations like this and are not doing their own internal work. So we can critique this black gay man for not dating other black gay men, but what about the black gay men who are not dating other black gay men who are not desirable? I don't get it. So it seems as though a lot of folks are more upset at him being desirable and dating a white man that is not desirable, because there are other black gay men who are desirable, who date other white desirable men, and the uproar is not as bad. But for him being fat and white, yes, it's a conversation. But if we are truly interested in checking stuff and whatever, we need to also check ourselves. Because I was seeing some commentary and I was seeing some folks who were saying certain things and made it clear that they date desirable black gay men. So it's really hilarious because I love the colorism page on Twitter. I love the colorism page. Look it up. I can't think of the official ad, but it's called the colorist page. Look it up. The colorism page, I promise you it's gonna pop up. But as much as I love and enjoy the colorism page, a lot of the call outs about black gay men choosing white men are black gay men who are desirable, who are gym body, who are read as desirable. That's the focus. That's the focus. And I'm pretty sure there's probably one or two, a couple, but the majority of them are black gay men who are desirable, who, chase light-skinned men or white men or, Latino men or whatever. That's what they do. But I asked my friend the other day, do you think that there could be a fat phobia page? And what does it look like? What does a fat phobia page look like? What is a fat phobia page that is calling out folks for being fat phobic and anti-fat? What does that look like when all of us are participating in it? What does it look like when all of our partners and all the people we've shown interest in are thin or gym body? What does that look like? If we go through the track record of all the people you have dated, are fat folks in this equation? Are fat folks in this thing? Like, are you considering talking to fat folks? Or are you only fat folks in privacy? You can have sex with them, but you're not in a relationship with them. I've seen it. I've seen folks who are interested in fat bodies, attracted to fat bodies, but yet are never in a relationship or never married to a fat person. It honestly makes me think about how trans women are treated as well, that they are loved in the dark, but are not appreciated in the public. And this is something that me and my close friend Deshaun have talked about several times, that it is interesting watching people have these conversations and so interested in, invested in this, but are not invested in their own internal fat phobia and anti-fatness. They're not, what's naming that. They still make comments about dating folks who are non-fat. They are making comments about other things, and they don't look at that. Like, it's honestly, if I see one more damn tweet about a Tamara token, if you don't know what a Tamara coin token is, or Tamara Express, it's a play on Tamara liking white men. They put her on the American Express silver card, and it's just a joke. Like, there's one person or a couple of folks who I see on Twitter who, your card is maxed out, girl. Your card is over limit. And you need to date about 5 or 10 black men and be in a relationship with at least 2 of them before you can get approved to use it again, because you are over limit. And I get it. I get the need to call out like white supremacy and, you know, how oftentimes these white older men do prey on young black men because they do have money, they have, you know, wealth, they have status to be able to show these young black gay men a whole new world, like especially the black gay men who are living in poverty, who are dealing with any type of issue, you know, things. And this white, quote unquote, shining knight is able to, you know, offer them the things. That's what's going on. I get it. I get the conversation. I really do. And I'm not dragging any of the folks who have had these conversations about Byron being in a relationship with this white man. But I'm very much interested in how y'all are showing up for fat folks who are black. That's what I'm interested in, because it is hard watching you all pick apart this white man. You know, I'm okay with it, but it is also hard for me to see this and knowing that you are not even going to talk to any fat black gay men. It's hard. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I get it. I get the need to call it out. I get that, you know, oh, you're choosing an undesirable white man, da da da. So we understand, you know, we understand desirability, we understand these things. But are we applying them in real life? How committed are we to unlearning that in our dating process? How many of you all are saying that, oh, preferences, stop using preferences, that I don't have no preference, but each and every time you are in a relationship or we find out that you hooked up with such and such or you land up with such and such, it's always the same looking person. We are tired. Black, fat, gay men are tired of y'all using us to have conversations and not doing the own internal work within your damn selves. Even me doing it. Intentionally making sure that I am dating fat black gay men. That I'm interested in fat black gay men. Like, I'm doing that work. But it's also, I've been doing the work before I knew I was doing the work. I've dated fat black gay men. But, girl, I'm watching these folks not do these things. And then I'm like, okay, how is it that we calling out colorism, we calling out these things, and yet each and every time, y'all lusting after some light skin. Like, I'm literally going through y'all Instagrams, I'm going through y'all Twitter, and seeing the people who y'all follow, and it's not the only fat people y'all follow are the fat folks who are intellectuals. Y'all are not following any fat folks because y'all desire them. It always has to be something else. You are not, even the folks who follow, y'all are not following me because y'all desire me. You're following me because you enjoy the information and the content I put out. But these other folks who you're just following because you desire them, they don't have to do any of that. They don't. So don't sit up here and tell me that this is important to you. You're doing the work, and yet the work ain't finished. It's not fucking turned in. Y'all getting a 0. Y'all ain't even meeting the midnight deadline. It's not showing up. So like I say again, I get the conversation. I get the need to discuss white supremacy and how it shows up in how we date. We can't just say that we are committed to not dating white men, and yet every black man I am dating has proximity to whiteness. You cannot do that. You cannot trick me. And there's a lot of trickery going on right now. So once again, let me reiterate, because folks was, claim jealousy and all, I gotta put terms and conditions. And you know what? It's okay to be jealous. Learned that from my fave. It's okay. It's okay. But it's just hilarious watching folks have these conversations and yet are not committed to doing the work. We're tired. We're tired. We're tired.